This is Carol Roy, live at Citrix Synergy 2010 for Virtual Strategy Magazine, and I have the great privilege now of speaking with Simon Crosby, the CTO of the Data Center and Cloud Division at Citrix. How are you, Simon?
Hey, Carol. Great to see you again.
Great to see you as well. You're definitely not a stranger to virtual strategy. We've been speaking with you since your ZenSource days. Absolutely. You used to do 10 minutes to Zen. I love those. Now, you guys have done so much since then, since you've come to Citrix, and specifically now you focus on data center and cloud, as your title indicates. We've heard a lot coming from you guys in regards to cloud. Can you talk a little bit about what cloud means to Citrix and the different iterations, and really kind of the announcements that you guys made this week around them?
Sure. Well, cloud means different things to different people, and that's a challenge always. So let's start with the simple bits. Certainly from a Zen server perspective, Zen server should this year achieve something like 18% run rate share in virtualized servers. And in the last year, in terms of private clouds, that is virtualized infrastructure used as a service within the enterprise, we've penetrated 45% of the Fortune 500, roughly the same in the Forbes Global 2000. And we're running some very, very large mission-critical private clouds. So, for example, Tesco, with more than 1,000 servers running every single credit card transaction and every single point of sale on the fly. So that's private cloud for infrastructure as a service. And then in terms of public cloud, we see huge uptake of Zen in general, but Zen server specifically in clouds. Part of that comes down to the fact that we made it free. But the other part of that is that it's enterprise ready, that is, it can run today's enterprise apps, as opposed to just going off and grabbing Zen out of open source. So there's a fair number of folks who have been changing from open source Zen, which dominated the cloud, the public cloud previously, to Zen server. We announced that Rackspace is building their cloud service on Zen server, and that's a big deal because they're number 2 in terms of the cloud. And their intentions are not just to build another Amazon. There's a very clear distinction in my mind between what's being built as clouds for next-gen web-based apps, which is kind of more Amazon-like, and what's cloud for the traditional enterprise apps that enterprises are building today. And so Rackspace and Carpathia, Software, various other folks who've gone with us are all building clouds that are focused on their enterprise customers. And they serve 100% of the Fortune 500 today. And so our goal there is to deliver rich infrastructure, not just a commoditized virtual private server model. In the Citrix portfolio, we had this real benefit of having a really strong networking portfolio with NetScaler in the lead there, but also WAN optimization and branch repeater, as well as SSL VPN termination. And that gives us a set of rich network infrastructural components to bring to the table. We have a very rich virtual private switch coming, which then gives us the ability to support extended multi-tenancy structures. So really what we're finding is that the offering that we're bringing to the cloud folks at the lowest level of infrastructure is very appealing because it's free, fast, scalable, and gives them the opportunity to differentiate their service. Now there is another category of cloud which is very interesting, which is delivering apps and desktops from the cloud. And that's really serving the core Citrix portfolio, but in a managed service provider fashion. We've signed up, I think we just worked out roughly a service provider a day since we made the announcement. So more than 350 service providers there who are delivering applications or desktops to their customers as a service. And that's really exciting because that's changing the way that people consume applications.
Now, when you and I were chatting before we turned on the camera, you had mentioned that your business is starting to see many more enterprise deployments, that we're talking about huge, large-scale deployments. How is that changing the way that you operate the business and move forward with those large-scale clients?
So this is primarily in the context of Zen Desktop, where we announced, I think, the largest deal we've seen to date in desktop virtualization, which is 140,000 users. That was the UK Department of Work and Pensions, and it's through an integrator partner. So for deals like that, this is not Citrix selling direct. We never will sell direct. It's very interesting if I look at VMware that a substantial portion of the business is now direct enterprise sale. Citrix is very faithful to its 2-tier distribution model for its enterprise customers. That's always served us well, and we've served our partners well. For this sort of thing, actually, what happens is an outsourcer owns that. They are managing the desktop of the UK Department of Work and Pensions. Our partner there is Fujitsu, and then they use our technology to deliver the desktops to those end users. And so for that category and that scale of opportunity, the integrators are becoming important. CSC is another one, and there are other folk who are also joining that integration partner program.
I'm going to bounce back to the cloud for a quick second. We've seen a lot of different smaller innovators coming forth. Any strike your fancy as being really notable and shaking the industry up?
You know, the wonderful thing about it is that I don't see cloud as being a commodity. That is, every one of these guys, if you talk to them, thinks that they have some unique angle. So here, I'll give you a few of the unique angles. SoftLayer offers what I think is the perfect automated SME cloud, small medium enterprise. They are enormous as a vendor. There's a very large footprint, but tiny from a total number of people in their company. And they have got the standardized deployment which they can roll out, which gives you absolutely guaranteed isolation, scalable and everything else. And it's just fabulous. We've been running Zen Desktop proof of concepts out of SoftLayer, and it's been a fabulous sales tool for us with our own POC tool. Carpathia, at the other end of the scale, runs federal-grade bunkers with data centers all around the US, and they serve the federal government. And they are certified with everything that you would ever need to be able to run federal workloads. And so they are very interesting because that's their specialty. So they can take Zen Server, add that, Netscaler VPX, add that onto their infrastructure, and serve their customer base better. Their customer base is never going to go anywhere else because that's what they demand first. And then look at another market segment. If you look at someone like Cerner or McKesson, these guys have basically cornered the market in being HIPAA compliant. Where would you like your healthcare information to be? In lots of different clouds, or in one cloud that delivers that app to all hospitals? That's a very interesting opportunity. So those folks are very interesting in their own respect. So each one of these kinds of cloud has a unique value proposition that they bring. Rackspace, they distinguish themselves based on fanatical support and service to their customer base. So they all have a differentiating value prop. And so one of the interesting discussions in the industry is whether or not there should be standards for cloud. And whenever I talk to these cloud guys, they all think that if they're talking about a particular fixed, well-defined feature set, sure, you could have a standard about how you would interact with it.
Here's this widget, it needs to be built this way.
Yeah, right. So start me a server, start me a VM or whatever. You can do that one. But in general, that their service offering is so rich, or indeed moving so fast, that all you would ever do would be change the standard APIs. So we're a long way from that, and I think that's a good thing. Customers need to evaluate the capabilities of the cloud. Can it run the apps that you want? And then figure out whether the properties around that, certifications, enterprise classes, SLAs, all the other stuff, meets your requirement for the application that's available.
Absolutely. I feel like standardization of something like the cloud might even quash some of the innovation that we've seen.
Yes, exactly. By the way, I happen to view, this is just me, that the VMware idea of that, which is the cloud should just build using vCloud, is indeed a form of standardization. It's a commoditization of a particular thing, which would then lead all clouds to be the same. And I think that's a weak value proposition.
Absolutely a detriment to the industry. Simon, thanks so much for spending some time with us. I appreciate it. I look forward to speaking with you again soon. Best of luck. It's speaking at CA World this coming week as well, so he'll be in Vegas and hopefully on the podcast as well too.
Thank you, Carol. Great to see you.
Great to see you.